Hey, it's Greeno. Time for Nyrd Alert 3. It's been about a month since the last one. Definitely got a pile of movies I've been watching, still in a movie mode. Just been kind of getting online and local cheap shops looking for movies, good cheap Blu-rays, mainly DVDs here and there. But finding some cool stuff, and also got some cool books. And I'll show you those. Those came from, took a trip to Louisville, Kentucky. Actually hooked up with Corey, did some digging with him. Killer time, always good time with Corey. And I'll show you those here at the end. And the vinyl that came from digging with Corey will pop up in a VC video. So, but what is playing in the background, Night Vision, or Night Viper. This will show up in a video too. Just got this in not long ago. Talk about that later. But for now, it's Nyrd Alert stuff. So let's kind of jump in here. And like I said, most of these were cheap finds, just off the internet, a couple off eBay even. It's crazy what you can find looking around. This is Space Invaders, and hopefully you can see that. I kind of remember this from the 80s, and it's just a cheese ball, almost like a family kids kind of sci-fi movie from the late 80s. And again, it was cheap, so I picked it up. I actually enjoyed it. I dig cheese ball 80s, or cheese ball sci-fi of any kind, and this definitely fits in there. And just a cool movie. I grabbed this, kind of a blind buy. Never really heard about it till I saw it online. It's Cooties. It's got what, Elijah Wood, I guess, is the main star here. And it was okay. I thought it would be better. Hopefully the glare is not too bad. I thought it would be better, but overall it was cool. Basically, teachers in a school, the kids get cooties, which basically turns them into zombies, whatever. And it's them fighting the kids. So, yeah, entertaining. This ended up being really pretty cool. I really dug this. It's called What We Do in the Shadows. And it's basically like it's set up like a documentary reality show about vampires in New Zealand. Like, this film crew follows this apartment full of vampires. There's like 4 or 5 of them. They live together, and it's kind of funny because they're all from different eras. You have one from like the 1800s, and then there's a newer one, and then there's like a Nosferatu looking, original old vampire. Like, he's like 8,000 years old or something goofy. And he's actually the best part. He doesn't talk or anything, but he was just a really cool part of this movie. But anyways, very interesting. I like this. I think it would have been better as a TV show, like half-hour episodes would have been perfect for this. Be cool if it was turned into a TV show. Next, just kind of grabbed this. This wasn't a cheaper one, but still found it on sale. And I like this movie, and went ahead and grabbed the who did them? The Criterion release of Repo Man. And if you've never seen Repo Man, yeah, it's definitely worth checking out. It's just a weird ass movie from the early 80s, punk movie. It's about a guy that he's a punk, he ends up being a repo man. And there's like, it's just an odd movie. You definitely need to check it out. And who is it? Circle Jerks, I think, are in this as a lounge band, which is kind of cool. But definitely a cool movie. Not a movie, and actually music related, but I'll go ahead and show it here. And it's the Twisted Sister documentary just come out. We Are Twisted Effing Sister. And this is great. It basically goes from the very beginning of the band up until Stay Hungry. It doesn't it stops right before Stay Hungry comes out. So this is early stuff, the first 2 albums, and about them doing the bar circuit in the New York tri-state area or whatever. Very cool. Tons of bonus stuff on here. Here you can see the inner. And I'm hoping they continue this and do one from Stay Hungry on, which is a more known era of the band. But still, if they're pulling out old personal video and stories, it'd definitely be cool to see. But this was great. Definitely worth checking out. This was a blind buy from Walmart, like cheap, like $8 or $9 or something. Blu-ray. It's called Moonwalkers, and it has Ron Perlman and what's the other dude? Rupert Grint. I don't know. He's the guy from those Harry Potter movies. This ended up being pretty cool. It's set like in '69 with the U.S. sending the first manned mission to the moon, and basically the government gets Perlman, who is a government operative who's been in Southeast Asia, I guess, for the last few years, and he's out of his mind now. But they get him to commission somebody to film a moon landing in case the real one doesn't work and they can show the fake one. And that's what this is all about. And it's just a whacked out, drugged out movie about him trying to get this done. It was pretty good, definitely entertaining. Some more older horror. This is The Monster Club. This had Vincent Price and John Carradine. And this was from actually the early 80s, and I can't remember the exact year. Kind of cheesy. It's about this writer, John Carradine, who bumps into Vincent Price, who's a vampire, and he takes him to the Monster Club, which is where all the monsters hang out. Vampires and all that stuff. Werewolves, mummies, all that. And it's cheesy, but it's just fun. I love this stuff. And actually, is it the Pretty Things, I believe, are, I think it's this movie. I've watched these a while back over the last month, so they might kind of run together a little bit. But I'm pretty sure the Pretty Things are one of the bands that are playing at the Monster Club. It's definitely a fun movie. Yeah, I can't remember if I showed this in the last one or not. I've had it for a little while. But I finally watched it, and it's Crimson Peak. Newer horror movie. And man, I really dug this. This is kind of like a modern gothic ghost story kind of thing. It's not a slasher movie. It's got a little bit of that in there, but it's not about that at all. It's kind of has a little bit of like a Hammer feel to it. Like if, it could have been like a modern Hammer movie. I mean, it's not like the greatest movie ever, but it's definitely a good watch. It's very, very nice visually. The camera work and everything, and the sets and everything. Very cool. One I just wanted to pick up. Haven't seen it forever. Which is Black Sabbath. And it's one of those trilogy movies, or trilogy. I can't remember if it was trilogy or anthology, whatever. There's like 3 or 4 different stories in here. And actually, I haven't watched this one yet. I remember seeing it years ago when I was a kid, and I barely remember it. But I definitely want to watch it again. So I went ahead and ordered it. This, my daughter was telling me about, and she's like, this is right up your alley, you gotta watch it. It's the Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse. And this is great. This is hilarious, man. New movie. It's just completely stupid, funny. If you dig the horror comedies, this is definitely one to check out. It's got some great moments in it. And a classic. Found this on eBay for like $8 shipped. Meatballs. I was talking to the wife about this, and I didn't have a copy of this on anything. Not even VHS. So, found it that cheap on Blu-ray. I went ahead and grabbed it. And it's still great as it was back in the 80s. and a classic that I'd never seen, or seen parts of, but never seen the whole thing. The Great Escape. And just a killer World War II movie about, you know, guys escaping from a concentration camp. Or not a concentration camp, a prisoner of war camp. Really good. A lot of stars, man. Steve McQueen, James Garner. Jeez, man. Charles Bronson. Just a lot of people in this movie. And a long movie. It's about 3 hours long. Very cool, though. This one's on the Kino Lorber, one of their releases, and I've been kind of checking them out, and they really release cool stuff, man. Most of it, other than the horror stuff they release, the other stuff I've not heard of before, a lot of it. And this was one called Busting. Never heard of this before, but kind of went ahead and grabbed it and really dug it, man. It's got Elliot Gould and Robert Blake. It's early 70s, like gritty, typical 70s gritty cop movie, you know, set in Los Angeles. There's probably a million of those. But this was kind of good. Elliot Gould and Robert Blake are partners, and they're kind of good together. They're kind of, you know, there's some humor in there, along with the grittiness of the story. But really dug this. Found this on sale. Man, it's been a couple months ago. Finally watched it, and I'm glad I found it on sale. It's the new Fantastic Four relaunch. Just happened last year, and this is just bad. I pick up any superhero movies that come out, any of the big ones, and it'll be part of the collection now. But wow, it's like if they hadn't called this the Fantastic Four, it could have been just another sci-fi movie. It has nothing to do with the comic book as far as their origins, and they don't even wear the costumes, the Fantastic Four costumes in the movie. It's just, I don't know what they were trying to do here, but they failed miserably with that movie. It's well done as far as the storyline and all that. If they hadn't called it the Fantastic Four, it would have been an interesting movie. But you're watching it trying to figure out what the hell's going on and how does this relate to the Fantastic Four. Other than the characters' names, it doesn't. It's a bad movie. Another couple old ones. The Andromeda Strain. Again, I'd never seen this, just knew about it. It's about an outbreak. Basically, something comes from outer space. Infects people, and it's about humanity trying to restrain it, basically. Very good movie. I remember this being a big movie in the 70s when it came out. And I had this weird thing. I kind of like old submarine movies. I don't know why. Like old World War II movies and that kind of thing. And even Cold War stuff. But this is one of my favorites. Ice Station Zebra. I finally got it on Blu-ray. Love this movie. Another long movie, but freaking fantastic. It has Rock Hudson, Ernest Borgnine, Patrick McGowan, and Jim Brown. This is mid-60s. Mid to late. I can't remember. Anyways, great movie. Just a huge movie. If you dig Cold War kind of stuff, this is it, man. Great ending where the Americans and the Russians kind of confront each other at the North Pole. Very cool. And that's it for Blu-rays, but I do have a couple DVDs I picked up and some really cool documentary DVDs. There's 4 of these called Monster Madness, and this is the first one. And basically, it's just about old horror movies, horror sci-fi movies. And this one deals with the Golden Age stuff, the early stuff with Dracula, Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein. Excuse me. Just, I don't know, it's like reading a scary monster magazine or just an old monster magazine. It's really, these are really good, man. I think they're cool. The only problem, they were burns, just DVDRs or whatever, and they were like $30, and I didn't pay that. I found them for like 10 a piece, which I'm still a little pissed off that they're burns, paying 10 a piece. I couldn't imagine if I'd have paid $30 for one of these and just ended up being a burn. But definitely interesting and well worth the watch. That was the first one. Then the next one, Volume 2, was about 50s sci-fi, and that coming, kind of after the golden age, the 50s atomic age sci-fi and all that kind of come in with some horror movies. Then the next one, Volume 3, was the more gothic stuff, the Hammer era, I guess you could say, of the 60s up into the very, very early 70s, that kind of stuff. And then it was kind of everything after that, the 70s on, when you get into the more gritty 70s stuff, Exorcist and Omen, and then on into the slasher stuff of the 80s and 90s and on. But very good. This one, definitely cool, and you can see it's got Planet of the Apes and all that kind of stuff on it. Definitely cool. The first three I really liked. I mean, that's the era I liked, so definitely dug those. And those are worth checking out if you get a chance. Don't spend $30 or whatever that some places want on them. That's insane. They are burns. Next up is Freaks of Nature. And this is definitely kind of entertaining. Goofy story. It's about a town that has vampires, and like the vampires are kind of the elite of the town. The zombies are kind of like the low level, living in the gutter part of the town, and then the humans are kind of just middle class in the middle there somewhere. But all of a sudden there is like an alien invasion. Just throw it all in there, man. And that's what this is about. This was actually entertaining. I just kind of came across this at Target or Walmart or somewhere, picked it up. And again, it was like $10, I think, somewhere around in there. Definitely a fun watch. And the last movie I picked up totally because of George, who started this whole Nyrd Alert thing. It's the movie with Henry Rollins, He Never Died. And this is really good, man. I mean, George hit it right on the head with this. And I don't know if I'd have picked it up without George saying something, because it just looks like one of those cheapy, straight to video, straight to DVD, whatever releases. But this was really good, and the whole time you're like watching it going, what the hell is going on? And it keeps you kind of trying to figure out what the hell is up with this character that Henry Rollins is playing. And again, this is another cheapie from Target or Walmart or wherever. And definitely worth checking out if you get a chance. I don't want to say any more about the plot of the movie. It's a good movie, and especially if you dig Henry Rollins, which I do. Yeah, definitely check it out. Cool movie. All right, let me grab some books here, and I'll show you these real quick. Okay, just real fast. Picked up a few books, like I was saying, while I was in Louisville, Kentucky. Went to my first half-price books. Never been to one before. There's actually two I hit down there. Picked up a couple records at both of them. Records were okay. Found a couple new things, or new reissues that were priced very nice. But also was looking through the comics section and came across some anthology type books, and they're all old horror and sci-fi kind of stuff, basically from the 50s. And man, these were killer prices. I think these were like $40 or so new, and I got them for anywhere from like $9.99 to like 17 or 18 bucks. They were priced kind of odd. Some of them were like $25, and they had them marked way down to $9.99 or whatever. So whatever. Anyways, here's the books. I got Chamber of Chills, and this is volume 3. And like I said, these are old like horror books, and here are the comics that are in this. This is issues 14 through 19, and they're from November 52 to September 53. And what's really cool is it's the exact comic, complete with the ads and everything. And I'd been kind of getting back into some of the old horror comics that I have in my collection, just kind of pulling them out. And then I see, it's kind of weird, man. George and I talk about it all the time. We're like, we got to be related somehow, because I see him starting to show stuff in these Nyrd Alerts, and he's talking about this stuff, and I'm like, dude, yeah, what's the deal? It's like we're connected mentally there somehow. We know exactly what each other is into, and it's just crazy. We've even picked up like weird reissues at the same time. I remember a Misfits Nutley Brass reissue, and we both picked it up, I think, like the same day. Anyways, I've been kind of getting back into that, and it's cool seeing George has been going through it like crazy, even further into it than me. He's looking for old original issues, and I can't find any around here, actually. So I was super excited to get some of these, and here's volume 4. I like track down some more of these, but like I said, they're kind of pricey, brand new, and I'm not gonna pay $40 a piece for these, or whatever it was, 30-some to 40-some dollars a piece. And then also found a couple Witches' Tales, and this is the same deal. They're from the 50s. Harvey Horror. Hopefully you can see these all right. Love this old stuff, and it's really cool just to have them kind of packaged this way. And what's really cool is they left all the ads and everything in there. That was volume 3. Here's volume 2. So I got 2, 3, and 4 of Witches' Tales. And the last 2 is Forbidden Worlds. And I've never read any of these. This probably still horror with sci-fi mixed in, and again from the 50s. And same deal, just good prices on these. And these were all at the one half-price books, man. So I kind of jumped on them. I actually grabbed a couple when I first went in, then went back to the hotel we were staying at, and was reading through it that night, and I thought, man, I'm gonna go back and grab some more of these. So I grabbed what I could. So that's it. That's the Nyrd Alert. I don't think I'm missing anything. It should be a new vinyl. I don't know if it's gonna be an update or what's spinning kind of video coming. Maybe a mixture of both. Haven't been ordering a lot of vinyl in this total movie mode right now, and actually reading some of these and just chilling out and pulling stuff out of the collection to listen to more than anything. So, but anyways, one of those videos will be coming soon. So hope everybody's doing well, and see you in the next Nyrd Alert. Later.